So please welcome Luvleen Sidhu.
Hi, everyone. It's really exciting to be here today in some nice warm weather. Coming from New York and Chicago this week, this is amazing. I definitely don't feel like leaving. But I'm so happy and excited to be here today and feel honored to share with you a little bit about the BankMobile story. I think that many of us are in agreement that the basic model of banking has not changed. It's really focused on customer acquisition, on engagement of those customers and being able to cross-sell to them, and then being able to retain customers and create customers for life. What I believe has changed, though, is consumer needs and behaviors, access to technology, and regulation. And these changes have created unique opportunities for us to change the way that we are acquiring, engaging, and retaining customers, both that leads to exponential growth and profitability and a better experience for the consumer. So I think there's many ways that you can take advantage of these changes in the current environment, and it's a unique, awesome opportunity for all of us, and we should be excited about the era that we're living in. There's no right way to do it. BankMobile is just going to share with you one way that we're doing it today. So why did we start BankMobile? First, it was very obvious to us when we look at the financial landscape of the US that Americans are struggling financially, and they're looking for an affordable banking alternative. If you look at low middle income Americans, they're living, a third of them are living paycheck to paycheck. Okay, almost 50% of them cannot afford a $400 emergency if that happens. 20% are saving nothing. And how banks are responding is that they're charging these individuals over $32 billion a year in just overdraft fees. And I know I have a room filled with bankers, and there's no way that I want to say that banks are the big bad players in this space. I empathize with you guys with bank branches that are truly, to be frank, a pretty inefficient model where bank branches are opening only one net new checking account per branch per week. To be able to profitably serve these customers, unfortunately, the reality is that you have to be able to charge them fees. Now with BankMobile, with our unique strategy, with being able to replace bank branches with technology, we are able to bring our cost structure so low that we can actually profitably serve a demographic that has historically been underserved. Why else did we start BankMobile? Two, it was very clear to us that the consumer needs and behaviors are currently changing. We're seeing that consumers are now interacting more with banks through mobile devices than any other channel. Specifically, we're seeing Americans walk into bank branches 1 to 2 times a year versus interacting with their bank through a mobile device 20 to 30 times a month. We are also living in an age where we have so much access to exponentially growing technologies, where we finally have the opportunity to replace the inefficient branch network that exists today while still being able to acquire customers in a more profitable way. So what was our vision when we started BankMobile? One, we wanted to be able to serve millennials, low and middle income Americans, and to be able to do it profitably. Two, we wanted to be able to leverage technology and a unique strategy to be able to replace the inefficient branch network that exists today. Three, we wanted to be able to acquire customers at exponentially better than the traditional bank model. So today we're opening about 500,000 new accounts each year. And not only are we focused on high volume acquisition, but on acquiring these customers at exponentially lower costs. So today we're acquiring customers in the $10 range versus traditional banks that it's said to be in the $300 to $500 range. And lastly, you need to create customers for life. So how do you do that? You cannot forget about the product and the service that you're offering, making sure that you can create an emotional connection with your customers. And the only way to do that is to create an affordable, a transparent, an effortless, easy-to-use banking experience, and actually provide value to these consumers to help elevate their financial lives. So today, as I mentioned before, we have 1.7 million students banking with us with an average age of about 28. And the number of checking accounts we have today puts us in the top 15 banks in the country in terms of number of consumer checking accounts. And we've been in business for a little over 2 years. I talked about the customer acquisition, cost of acquisition in our model. Today, we're acquiring customers in the $10, $11 range. And our average revenue, annual revenue on these customers is in the $80 range. So you can see on day one, we're actually being able to serve people with lower balances and sort of underserved demographic in a profitable way. And with our unique model, where we actually, I'll talk about later, where we actually partner with distribution partners who pay us for using our technology, our customer acquisition cost effectively goes to zero, which is really unheard of in any industry and a unique competitive advantage for us. So how are we doing this? Well, one, we're replacing branches with technology, and specifically a mobile-first strategy, and we're going direct to consumer. But two, our strategy and primary strategy is to actually partner with, it's a B2B2C model, where we partner with distribution partners and engage in white label banking to be able to continue this model of acquiring high volume customers and at a very low cost. So to talk a little bit about our direct-to-consumer strategy, how have we been growing this strategy? We've been doing things like digital advertising, PR. We launched a nationwide campus ambassador program where we have about 70 students from different campuses across the country, working with us and building brand awareness on campus. We've really focused on becoming a premier content provider, being able to write a lot of unique content that's really relevant to our student base to help them with their financial lives. We wrote a book called Why Can't Banks Be as Easy as Uber? The Real Future of Banking, that was really focused on inspiring and letting consumers know about the digital revolution in banking that they can benefit from, which became an international bestseller. And other partnerships and opportunities to really create value in the lives of our customers. The reality is, direct-to-consumer is a very difficult strategy. It's costly. There's a lot of inertia to actually get people to switch their banking relationships, which is great for once you get them, because that creates quite a bit of stickiness. But for us, we're going to continue direct-to-consumer in a small way, because it's important to continue to build brand equity and a reputation in the market. And so we're going to continue to do that. But our primary strategy is B2B2C, which I'll just talk about. But before we launched our direct-to-consumer strategy and built our actual model of banking based on a mobile-first strategy, we made sure that we did a lot of focus groups with special attention to millennials to get their insight on what is it that they're looking for from a banking experience where they can really love that relationship with the bank, which doesn't exist today. So if you could please play the video.
When I think of bankers, I just think of like stuffy old men, like people who are kind of miserable sitting in a back room counting change. My change.
I don't really like going to banks.
They're just boring.
I don't really know what's going on there. I just give them my money.
They're not looking out for me and my money. They always start to take out the most amount of money for all the transactions pending. And then they like nickel and dime you through all the smaller ones.
There's going to be a $3 charge for this transfer. There's going to be $25 if you don't keep this balance. Sometimes I think they just make them up.
I'm very willing to switch banks.
I'm not terribly committed to my bank.
I'm just looking for a bank that can help me in my personal situation.
All the banking I try to do right now is online.
I think the future of banking would probably be like no branches.
If everything could be done online, why would we need to go to branches?
The technology's there. If I could just take a picture of my bill and then it just be paid or become part of my bill pay, that would be phenomenal.
If I was to build the perfect bank,
Having something that's convenient and customized for me.
No limits on deposits, no ATM fees.
security is definitely important to me.
Transparency is key because it has to be clear and honest with what's going on.
More financial advice.
More in control, more empowered with my money.
Giving me the ability to make decisions myself.
I want a bank that makes me feel like my account matters.
So this is just some imagery of some of the things that we're doing on the content side. It also shows a little bit of our branding. We make sure to make banking a little bit less rigid, less like the way that she described bankers in the beginning, counting change, and much more colorful, something light, something that people can look forward to and not get stressed out when they think about their money. So our primary strategy is a B2B2C strategy. And what I mean by that is finding the right distribution partners to help us acquire these customers and at high mass, high volume, and at a low cost. So today, we are acquiring customers. Our first distribution partner, in essence, is with 800 colleges and universities around the country. And through our relationship with these colleges and universities, we are able to open bank accounts for students that have an average age of about 27, because some of them go to 2-year schools, some of them go to 4-year schools. And it's an opportunity to get them when they're in a critical sort of years where many of them, about 30% of them, don't even have a bank account coming into school. And then also being able to offer a better banking experience, the best student account out there, once they open an account with us. And then being able to grow with them as they graduate. So for us, our students have an average age of about 27, 28. Their biggest pain point is access to credit. And so over this 2 to 4 year period, for example, we have an opportunity to build a relationship with them, to help them grow and build their credit through education, and something that we've developed, a proprietary financial fitness score, where we help them enhance the score over time through different behaviors that we're watching them doing, whether they're paying their bills on time, whether they're using the budgeting tools within the app, whether they're exceeding expenses compared to what they're depositing into the account, et cetera. And we actually provide an incentive where we underwrite based on this credit. So we say to them, hey, if you're able to increase your score by 50 points by doing X, Y, and Z type of behavior, then as soon as you graduate, we can offer you that credit card. Instead of at a 19.9%, we can drop it down to a 7%. And it really creates this sticky relationship because what we're doing is actually helping them address their biggest pain point and promising that we're going to be there for them to address that pain point as soon as they need us to and give them the best experience as well. And as they grow with us, we're extending different credit products, but also as we develop our family account, our small business account, being able to grow with them in their different life stages and to be able to give them the best banking experience with free ATM access, free banking experience, financial coaching for our platinum direct deposit customers, and really creating a wow experience that they're going to remember. Oops. So for us, being a fintech company with a bank charter, I think that is the best combination, where we really have the technology and the user experience of a fintech, but we have the bank charter. And to us, what really is the benefit of the bank charter? Well, one, we're leveraging the FDIC insurance. And so being able to have the deposit relationship, and that's a direct deposit checking account relationship that is very sticky. And for us, that is our primary relationship that we want to own. On top of that, we get the debit card with that relationship, and that's our primary revenue driver, which is interchange when someone swipes their debit card. And the second is the other payment that banks own, which is the credit. So we also want to own the credit card relationship with our students. And beyond that, when it comes to other personal loans, student refinancing, when it comes to investment products, et cetera, and other banking services, what we're looking to do is to continue to partner with the best fintech companies out there for our students to be able to leverage the awesome and unique user experience you've created and the great products that you've created. So if there's anyone in the audience that feels that they can be great partners with us, I'd really appreciate if you also reach out, because we're looking for the best-in-class fintech partners to really serve our customers. But not only for our student accounts especially do we want to be just a financial partner, but we want to help them succeed in every aspect of their life that's important to their success. So specifically for our students, since that's primarily where we dominate the market today, we have created partnerships to help them succeed. When it comes to skill development, we've created partnerships with online courses where they can get discounts and continue to build their skills. We've partnered with a lot of freelance companies where we can help our students get jobs on the side, part-time jobs, while they're still in school to get that additional income. We're focused on helping them make money in other ways. They can be part of our BankMobile program. We've started the BankMobile Foundation, where we issue scholarships to students that are working hard and are just struggling and creating an opportunity for them. We've created a financial education curriculum that is unique to us. similar to maybe an EverFi sort of experience where students can take this curriculum for free and really understand the basics of money management, which so many students are lacking because it's not part of a curriculum today. So we are focused on, again, not just being a financial services provider, but being a partner through life to help them succeed in whatever stage that they're in. So I believe that the future is creating significant opportunities for BankMobile and for each of you in this room. I do think that it's such a unique opportunity for us to take advantage of the data analytics that are available to us today, to be able to proactively anticipate the needs of our customers and to be able to deliver them without them having to ask for it and really create true value for them. I think it's so important for us to continue to experiment with biometrics, both for an effortless banking experience, but also for security enhancement during the digital banking process. I think that money transactions will continue to be an important part of the bank's role in consumers' life, but to really be able to start focusing on money management. We have Google Maps to be able to get us from point A to point B, telling us to turn left, telling us to turn right. But to really help a consumer where they say, today I'm at point A financially, but I want to get to point B. And being able to, in a tech-savvy way, help them make the decisions to get from A to B. And then being able to create a human touch with that, having conversational AI, et cetera, to be able to have a high-tech supported by high-touch experience for the customer. And I do think that it's so important as we think about building technology for the future of the banking experience that we want to create an open infrastructure where we have and can use APIs to be able to connect, like for example, the fintech partnerships that I talked about, so we can create a really unified experience of sharing information so it can be such a seamless experience for our customers. And I do think that everything will start becoming someone's wallet. So I think we need to start focusing on, Alexa has already become part of the banking experience, but for someone's fridge to become a payment mechanism, for someone's car to become a payment mechanism, and really taking advantage of the Internet of Things. And this is just the beginning. This list could go on and on. The amount of exponentially growing technologies that are available to us today to truly create a value-additive banking experience for our customers is tremendous. So I really urge you guys during the next 2 days to really think about and push yourself. I don't think that bank branches are going to disappear. I do think, though, that it's difficult to grow exponentially by being hindered by or just focusing on the branch network. So I really urge you guys to continue to innovate and think about, with these different technology changes, with these different consumer needs and behavior changes, how can we change the way that we're delivering the banking experience to exponentially grow, be more profitable, and give our consumers the best banking experience that they can have? So I just want to end with a video of BankMobile and our vision and some of the short and medium-term things that we're working on delivering soon. Thank you. Be happy to take any questions.
please. Are you strictly a U.S. bank now?
Sorry?
Are you a U.S. bank now only?
Yes, we are a
Yes.
U.S. bank serving only customers nationally for now. It's a very interesting microphone.
A little lower and I'd be in trouble. Okay, sorry, oops. Videos, can I, is there any possibility of having links to those videos?
Being able to, I can't hear you that well, to be able to access the videos?
Yeah, do you have access to the videos? Are they on
Yeah,
YouTube?
we could possibly share the videos.
Are they on YouTube now?
This is not on YouTube.
Or Vimeo?
The first video that I showed with the interviews, that's on our YouTube channel.
Okay.
And the second video is still going through compliance approval.
Okay.
It should be available soon.
Okay, thank you.
Here you go. Ready? I got it.
You may have hit on this, but can you tell us how the things that you do to try to connect with the customer relationally, since you are, pretty much a mobile type bank? What are some of the things that you do to connect with the customer and build that loyalty relationally?
Yeah. So I think it's trying to understand what their biggest pain points are and to really address them. And so, as I mentioned before, for our customers, their top pain point is really credit. So being able to build that financial fitness score that helps them sort of develop their really thin credit file when they come in. So to be able to develop their credit. And then once they graduate, we actually are able to give up to a $100 line of credit to any of our customers as long as they get through our customer approval process. So we help them build credit immediately. We also are really focused on customer service. So our NPS scores are really through the roof. They're at 80. So if those of you know the NPS score, there's, American Express, I believe, is at 60, and they're amazing at customer service. So it's really focused on making sure that, number one, that they don't have to call the call center that often because you've created enough, tech availability in terms of a good experience for them. But if they do, to make sure that you make them feel valued, et cetera. In terms of a human connection, we have our BankMobile program. So we have between 70 to 80 students at 70 to 80 different campuses across the country where they serve as ambassadors on campus. So the other students that are banking with us on that campus, they have a rep there in essence that can help them answer questions, that can create workshops and financial workshops on campus. They help disseminate the financial curriculum that we have because they do believe they're on a social mission to actually help financially empower millennials, their fellow millennials. So these are some ways, and then we create a lot of content. So we make sure that our content isn't boring, but it's relevant to the things that matter. So giving them advice that actually helps them land a job, or giving them advice that helps them be able to eat out, but more fiscally, being able to be financially fit when it comes to actually fitness and working out and how you can do that. So we make it really relevant so it's not boring, but they can still make sure that they're taking in the information and applying it to their life. So those are some ways.
Right. Given the genesis of your relationship with the customer is at the student level, how do you know when they're ready for the next step in their financial life? Meaning, how do you know when they're ready to take out a mortgage so that you can proactively capture that business rather than let it go to a national player?
So I tried to hear. For some reason, it's a really cool microphone, but it's really hard for me to hear. But I think that I understood the question, like how do we know when they would be looking for a certain product? So today, we dominate the student market. So most of our customers are students. We know exactly when they enrolled in school, when they're graduating, what is their major, what is their projected income based on the profession that they're going to get. How old are they? Do they have kids? Are they married? What part of the nation are they living in? The South, the West, et cetera. And we have so much data. Do they own a car? Do they own a house? Or are they looking for a car, looking for a house? We've collected all this data. It comes from the schools. It comes through looking at their behavior in the account that we share with them, and it comes from also asking them. So through those three modes, we collect so much data on them that we're able to anticipate their needs and be able to deliver the likely product that they're looking for at that particular moment in time for them. Yep.
Who does the new business development for you? Is it your distribution partners? And if so, how do they go about? Is it mostly word of mouth?
Yeah, so we have a biz dev team. So we're focused on, the biz dev team in BankMobile is focused on creating the opportunities for us. So finding, those 800 colleges and universities, or finding the next distribution partnership for us. And the distribution partner itself, we're looking for, number one, are they getting a disbursement of some kind? So are we going to get a funded account on day one? And what I mean by that is the relationship we have with colleges and universities is that any money that is going from the school to the student goes through our platform. So if they have a financial aid refund, that the financial aid was applied to tuition and there's an amount left for them to have living expenses, et cetera, that goes through our disbursement platform. Or if they drop the class and they need credit, the money for the credits that they are no longer taking. Or if they have a job at the school and the school needs to pay them. So for us, we have this platform already that's sort of this engine of the school needs to give money to the students. We get a funded account on day one. They don't have to choose our account. They can choose ACH to their existing bank account. But those students that see the true value in our account are going to choose our option to get that disbursement. And then over time, it's our job to give them the best banking experience possible to really create that stickiness and that engagement over time. Yep.
So somewhere along the line, you millennials and students grow up and start making money. I took my daughter, who's around your age, to a full-service gas station, and she was wowed. Wow, you guys did that? I go, that's the way service stations used to be. Then she needed to get a loan for her master's program, and I took her to a branch. And they went all out, sat her down, and gave her the loan right away. And she said to me, wow, Dad, is that how rich people are thought of? Mm-hmm. I guess my point is, how do you compete with that personal touch that eventually most people who become eventually affluent will want, as opposed to doing things yourself?
Yeah, so good question. I think that the customer that we're serving today is definitely not the affluent customer. These are students. They are, to be honest, about 2/3 of them are women. About 50% of them have children. They're still in their 20s. They're mainly in the South and the West of the country. They are very aspirational, so they're all going to school and they all want to study and get higher paying jobs. But where we are today in their life cycle, they are not in need of sort of that affluent, personalized banking experience. Everything that they need, we can deliver today digitally. And as the customer grows with us, and if there is a need for that, I think that you can have a high-touch experience for those that require it. And two, there's going to be technological ways to create and mimic that very high-touch experience. I touched upon conversational AI, and it's hard for us to fathom right now, but there's ways that technology can really create and recreate that human touch. And maybe it's not now, maybe it's 5 years from now, but I think we're getting closer and closer to it.
Hi, Luvleen. First, congratulations. You're a mobile bank in a room full of traditional bankers, so here's a different question. What are you worried about? What keeps you up at night thinking as a chief strategy officer? And perhaps what are you dreaming about a year or two or even 5 years from now?
So what keeps me up at night? I think cybersecurity is something that it's just the reality, right? It's a threat that is real for all of us here. We can do our very, very best to stay on the front lines, continue to innovate, and have the best fraud, authentication, et cetera, to really mitigate that risk. but it'll always be a risk for us. And I think that we have to continue to be on the front line of being able to figure out how we can beat or outbeat something that is becoming very, very sophisticated day by day. So I'd say that number one, that's probably my biggest fear. Two, the biggest opportunity, I mean, I think that the opportunities are, like, we live in the most exciting time. Like, we have robotics, we have AI, we have sensors, we have Internet of Things, we have biometrics. Like, the list goes on, and none of these things are really utilized in its full capacity in the banking experience today. We can truly revolutionize the way people interact with their banks. And as was mentioned in the intro speech, like, people are very, their money is very personal to them. It's so important to create a gratifying, positive experience for people, because to create a better financial life for them, you're creating a better life for them, period. And I think that we have so many untapped sort of technologies available to us to continue to innovate and create the best experience for our customers. And that creates a lot of excitement for me, and honestly, for BankMobile, huge growth opportunities for us going forward. I think that was supposed to be the last, but okay.
What's the 10% on the NPS that don't give you 9s and 10s? What are some of the top reasons?
I think you can't please everyone. So I think that some people might have a negative experience, and you can, whether it was the banking app or the debit card didn't come on time, or to be honest, like, I don't know. I think that you can't please everyone, and that 10% is just the fact of life sometimes. So thank you very much. It was great being here.